You wake up in chains.
Such a long
The air is cold, heavy with mildew and regret. Stone walls close in like memories you can't escape. And outside,
Yes.
something stirs in the mist.
Time to wait.
This isn't the fantasy you grew up with. This is Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, AAC. World where legends rot, hope is scarce, and the only way forward is through blood, ruin, and impossible choices. It's not just dark fantasy. It's what happens when the dream dies and you're left clawing through what's left. And yet, there's a strange beauty in it. A cruel kind of allure, like walking through a broken cathedral lit by dying starlight in a gaming age stuffed with open worlds that feel empty and familiar. Tainted Grail doesn't hold your hand. It wraps it in thorns and dares you to move. But here's the real question. What does it take to survive a myth that's already failed? Stick around, because we're diving into a game that doesn't ask what kind of hero you want to be. It asks how much of yourself you're willing to lose to become one. Avalon is dying. Not in the grand apocalyptic way we're used to, but in that quiet, insidious rot that spreads from within. The kind of decay you don't notice until you're knee-deep in cursed soil, watching a tree bleed where it once blossomed. This isn't your typical medieval sandbox. There are no grand castles gleaming in the sunlight. Instead, you wander crumbling villages haunted by whispers, mist-covered hills where time forgets itself, and woods so silent they feel offended by your presence. The map isn't massive, but every inch matters. Tainted Grail breaks the open world. Mold by focusing not on scale, but on soul. The game splits its world into 3 dense, grimly distinct zones, each like a different chapter of a nightmare you can't quite wake from. From the mist-choked horns of the south, to the desolate, sunken ruins of Kenchun village, to the frozen despair atop forlorn swords. It's not just where you go, but what follows you there. And the deeper you go, the more the world pushes, back not with jump scares, but with dread, unease. The realization that maybe this place isn't meant to be saved, and neither are you. This isn't exploration, it's descent. Tainted Grail doesn't sprawl, it saturates. Instead of stretching miles wide, it digs deep. Every path is layered. Every dungeon feels intentionally forgotten. The game's 3-act structure, capped with a haunting epilogue, crafts a narrative flow that doesn't just tell a story, it tests your resolve. And like any good descent into madness, the more you commit, the more personal it becomes. Forget radiant quests and fetch missions. Here, you'll sift through the remnants of over 200 side quests, each woven directly into the world's bones. They aren't tacked-on distractions. They're fragments of a place trying to remember itself, or maybe forget entirely. The decisions you make, who you trust, what you defile, what you spare, they echo. Not just in dialogue, but in tone, in weather, in the way the world starts looking back at you. Over 250 fully voiced NPCs haunt this land. Broken knights, mad prophets, grieving mothers, and not one of them feels like filler. They don't wait around for you. They live, suffer, vanish. Miss one moment and it's gone, and if you're the kind of player who builds a home, there's space for that too. Farming, crafting, fishing. Odd comforts in a world that wants you hollow. This isn't just gameplay, it's endurance, and not everyone makes it through. Combat in Tainted Grail isn't just about swinging swords, it's about making choices in the chaos. Every encounter feels personal, up close, brutal, and a little unhinged. You're not a legendary warrior, you're desperate, you're outnumbered, and you're improvising, one bloody desperate second at a time. The system lets you dual-wield anything. Long swords, soul cubes, fire spells, daggers dripping with poison. Want to smash through a skeleton knight's guard with 2 iron maces? Do it. Want to hold a summoning spell in one hand and a flint axe in the other, screaming as ghost wolves tear through corrupted monks? Also totally viable. The possibilities are wild, and the game wants you to get weird with it. Magic isn't just a stat here, it's expression. One spell lights your enemies on fire, another turns them against each other, a third, no joke, turns them into literal cheese. You can feel the developers smirking, daring you to break the game in clever, twisted ways. Throwables and soul cubes add even more chaos. Molotovs of arcane oil, Potions that explode on impact, cubes that summon allies or cause mind-melting frenzies, it's all here. And it's all designed to feel like controlled disaster. No two fights ever feel the same, and honestly, the best ones, they feel like barely controlled survival, that you somehow won. Leveling in Tainted Grail doesn't happen because a number ticks up. It happens because you suffered for it. This is the return of that old school, use it to improve it philosophy. If you swing swords, your strength grows. If you sneak past horrors in the dark, your perception sharpens. The game watches how you play and rewards the commitment. It's organic, it's brutally fair, and it turns your playstyle into your identity. There are 6 core attributes: strength, dexterity, practicality, perception, endurance, spirituality, each tied to unique skill trees. Some give passive buffs, others unlock entirely new mechanics. Want to carry 100 pounds more junk like a true hoarder? There's a skill for that. Want to craft elixirs that melt armor, or farm herbs under moonlight? Also covered. But where it gets really grim is nightfall. When darkness falls, the world shifts. The Wired awakens, a force of ancient chaos that reshapes the land and its creatures. At night, your torch isn't for light, it's for survival. Enemies mutate, quests change. Some events only exist when the sun dies. It's not just a difficulty spike, it's a psychological shift. You start asking yourself, should I even be out here? And that's when the game has you, hooked, anxious, alive. You ever watch a game grow up in front of you? Tainted Grail. The Fall of Avalon is that scrappy underdog that stumbled out of early access, bloodied, unfinished, and weirdly promising. And now it's standing taller, darker, and sharper than ever in its 1.0 release. Since its first release in March 2023, the game's been rebuilt layer by layer. The prologue and Act 1 have been heavily reworked, with more polish, voice acting, and emotional weight. Characters feel more alive, quests branch more meaningfully, and the world just breathes better. But with this upgrade comes a price. Your old saves, they're gone, wiped clean like chalk off a blackboard. The devs warned us, and honestly, it feels right. This is a different beast now, more balanced, more complete. Oh, and remember how early access was locked in first person only? Now you can switch to third person. It's not just a gimmick, it recontextualizes how you experience the world. Suddenly, that armor you looted matters, that swamp you just crawled out of. It looks different when you see yourself in it. This isn't just a patch, it's a reawakening. And if you've been holding off, this might be the best time to step into the mist. Tainted Grail. The Fall of Avalon doesn't want to be the next Skyrim. It doesn't need to be. It carves its own identity, bleak, beautiful, and a little broken, in a way that lingers long after you put the controller down. This is not a game about becoming a hero. It's a game about what it costs to try. And that cost? It's steep. Time, focus, patience. You don't breeze through Avalon. You bleed through it. This world doesn't cater to you. It doesn't flood your journal with icons. It doesn't fill every moment with dopamine hits. Instead, it waits. It dares you to care. It tests how far you're willing to push into its cursed fog. Not just for loot or level ups, but to find meaning in a place long forgotten. And maybe that's the real power of Tainted Grail. It reminds us that RPGs can still feel dangerous, mysterious, human. So now we ask you, have you walked Avalon yet? Did you lose yourself in it? Or find something else in the mist? Drop your thoughts, stories, or regrets in the comments. Let's talk legends, broken myths, and the beautiful horror of trying to fix what was never meant to be saved.